Hi, my name is MeganBatoon. I didn't know that this was the lip color that I put on when I put it on, but we're wearing it. This week has been a whirlwind. If you think about Wizard of Oz, take that tornado and multiply it by 1,000. That is how I feel this week, and it's been a ride, so strap in. So first of all, something really exciting happened to me. Good Housekeeping reached out to me and wanted to do a feature of one of my spaces. They're doing this series about seeing parts of people's houses that we don't normally get to see. You know when you see like celebrity tours and you see their rooms and their garages and all these things, but they're like, no. We want to see what's behind closet number 1, what's in that pantry, how you got your stuff organized. And so they came to me and they were like, we want to take a look at your pantry. And I was like, oh boy, I've lived in this house for maybe 4 or 5 years, have not gotten to the pantry. And it was just like, I can't be showing my pantry when it looks like, it honestly looks like the same pantry that was in my second apartment in LA. Not a bad pantry whatsoever, just not to my design level of comfortability. I've done a pantry organization video before and it was really just getting something messy to look nicer. It was just organization, had nothing to do with the actual structure or the design or anything about it. So this time I was like, yeah, sure, Good Housekeeping, I can do this. It's completely ready for you. And then I turned it upside down. If only they knew, like, how much work I put in to, like, show my pantry that I lived with, but I absolutely redesigned for this one feature. Maybe they would be flattered. Or not, but either way, I have a pantry that I love, so let me take you through how it got there. So this is where we started. This is the pantry in all of its glory. This is after I organized it one time, but you can see it's really dark. It's got MDF boards as shelves, and the backing is also MDF. MDF is a pressed wood. It's like a bunch of stuff put together and they label it as wood. It's like the hot dog of construction materials. We're not even gonna look it up, we're just gonna go with that. At this moment, I have zero idea what I'm gonna do with the pantry. I'm just playing around, and I think that that is how really good ideas come to you, because you have to have a little bit of space. You can't constantly be doing things, literally me talking to myself, you can't constantly be doing things and then expect to have a good idea. So here, I'm just kind of playing around with the function of the doors. There's 2 uppers and 2 bottom ones, as you can see, and I'm just opening them up thinking, oh, how grand would it feel if both of these doors opened at the same time? So after I decide to do that, I'm trying to find anything that I can lodge in between these doors in order to have them both open up at the same time. I find this wooden spoon, and I love that it's one door. So we're gonna do that. How are we gonna do it? Don't know, we'll get there. I know I wanna put these LED lights up underneath the trim so it looks like ambient lighting coming down from who knows where. Does not matter, but you can see all your spices. This is how I normally design something. I really am an analog. I really am an analog. What? Analog does not matter. I really am an analog gal. I love drawing with pens, especially, no one cares about what type of pen I'm using, but if you do, it's a Sharpie pen. Love them. Here, I'm not using that. I'm just drawing the outlines of the actual pantry. I don't know how I'm gonna design it. I'm just starting with squares. This is another thing I like to do when I start redoing a room or trying to figure out what direction I'm gonna go into a room. I sit in the room and I feel it while I draw. So when I'm doing this pantry, I'm sitting in front of the pantry, just doors open and imagining what it could be. Currently, I have some brushed brass hardware that I got from Amazon on the top and bottoms. Those will be changed. By the time I take all of the doors off in order to prep and paint them, this is what my living room looks like. Not only my living room, but also my kitchen. And I think it probably spilled into my other room. But look, it always gets worse before it gets better. Design advice, life advice. So I've taken everything out of the pantries, no shelves, no anything left over. This is where I'm going to degloss it, prime it for the wall treatment of all treatments, lime wash. I am applying the lime wash in this motion. What, with a crisscross? I'm applying the lime wash in a crisscross motion that gives it a little bit of movement. This is a really light color, so you're not gonna see a lot of movement, but you will see it. And anyone that walks into my kitchen and says it's white, I'm gonna pull my eyelashes out. It is not white. Oh yeah, and then one DIY turns into 2 DIYs because it trickles down from room to room. What started as me working on my pantry, I'm now taking off backsplash. I'm using a heat gun to take off old paint. There goes the microwave. And now I'm taking off quartz backsplash. I primed and painted the doors. My neighbor got mad at me. It was a whole thing. They are done. They are on. To update the shelves themselves, I got another plank of redwood, cut them to size of the previous shelves, and replaced them into whatever configuration worked so that all of the wood tones used were the exact same. Since I'm making a really drastic transition from a dark kitchen to an absolutely white one, I want to keep it warm, so I'm adding in this red oak element. It's a tiny little piece of wood that I'm going to shimmy in between the doors to take the place of where that wooden spoon was. Okay, me? Oh my god, when I'm excited, I become Mariah Carey. I knew that, like, okay, I had a good idea. I didn't know it was gonna be this pretty. Sorry, literally just spit. So I thought I was done, and then I had another idea, which means I'm not done because it could be better. So I did this, looks great, love it. But then I had extra trim, or I guess it was an extra piece of wood, and I was like, oh, it could be a trim. So I really love that. But then I also really like putting some more red oak hobby board all the way at the bottom instead of seeing that. So guess I'm gonna go to the hardware store, come back, finish this. I just like, how am I? The thing is, it keeps looking good, so I'm gonna keep doing it. What may seem like a very slippery slope, that one thing happens and I like it and it springboards into another idea. If you approach anything from an intuitive standpoint, that's kind of what you're going to find. And I think with a lot of creative pursuits, like that is the only way to get there. It's interesting with interiors because you have to have it all together in your mind before you do an install. I am my own client in this situation, so I can keep changing my mind. But I think having an open mind while you're designing, especially when you're DIYing and things are gonna go wrong, that is key. You're gonna change your mind, and that's the beauty of it. After I was pretty much done, I realized in the center of the pantry, 2 of the bookshelf type of structure were not lining up, and that is not okay with me. So I put this tiny strip of wood on the inside, right in the dead center, so when you open it, it still feels cohesive. I just wanna show you how minuscule we're talking because it has to be thin enough when the doors close, they don't protrude at all. I don't even know if you can see it, and it's off, don't worry, everybody. Like OSHA hall monitors, I'm fine. This empty space between the blade and this silver guard, that is how small we are talking. If you didn't believe me that I like the details, this is the epitome. This is truly exhibit A through Z. Look at her. That is one thin ass piece of wood. There is a veneer on the inside, there is trim on the outside, there's inlay in the middle. And the handles, they all, this is how you do it. Well, this is how I did it. 2 different things. Remember when I said one thing leads to another? It happens again. This time I was like, what happens if maybe the camera pulled out just a little too far and then you could see my range hood being gone. You could see that I didn't finish the rest of the kitchen, and so I was like, okay, so I'll put a placeholder bamboo room divider and I'll make it look like it's the vent hood. Honestly, it works for now. Okay, so that essentially took 4 days, day and night, all by myself, not talking to a single soul. Finally shot the video. Don't know if it's good. Hopefully it looks okay. More than anything, I will probably be the only person on Good Housekeeping that has a lime wash pantry, and that's enough for me. I don't know when I'm gonna finish this kitchen because basically I only do projects when I have a deadline. Now I have no deadline. This may be here for years until I sell it. I swear the only time my house is gonna be fully finished is when I'm putting it on the market. One day I'll learn. Don't know when that is, not putting it on my calendar, but you know, one day. We can hope. Okay, now that there's not dust in every square inch of my kitchen, I'm gonna cook some HelloFresh, but I will just show you a peek behind the curtain. The placeholder work that's happening in here right now, it's so embarrassing that I'm going to show you because I feel like no one would normally show this because it's that embarrassing, but you know, I've put all of my embarrassing life on the internet and that's why we're here. So they added some really placeholder trim and I was like, okay, we're only gonna see this part of it in the video, maybe. Because when you look over here, There's no trim left over. I still have to finish the ceiling. It's a whole thing. What are we getting ourselves into today? Good Q. All I saw was potatoes, and I am into, oh, a burger. I'm gonna go with a burger. I switched my plan to the meat plan. I have been doing the vegetarian option for a couple months now, but now my body is like, okay, we just want some meat. Don't even go there. And now I changed it. And that's one of my favorite things about HelloFresh. You can change your diet preferences. You can change your days. Like, I'm going out of town tomorrow for a project I'm working on location. I can skip that delivery date, change the delivery date, whatever. It's convenient. It's called Gouda Vibes Burgers. You know we love a good pun. I've been cooking with HelloFresh for, I don't know, probably over 3 years now, and I just started paying attention to the part where it tells me all of the materials that I need that are not food-based. So I have all of that ready. If you start cooking with HelloFresh, that is such a key thing because the meals take 20 to 30 minutes to cook, depending on if you get the quick and easy option or just something like I've got here. But the thing is, finding all of the stuff adds more time. So if you find that before you start cooking, minimum time commitment. You know what you deserve? You deserve some really beautiful shots of cutting this food. And I'm gonna give that to you. And just so you don't feel too disconnected, I'll talk the entire time. Lucky you! HelloFresh has so many different types of recipes you can choose from, or you don't have to choose it all and you can be surprised, which is what I like to do. Either way, you're not gonna be in a recipe rut. Oh boy! Oh boy! Okay, just a quick interruption. The way that I opened that kind of did like a little Mount Vesuvius thing because it's now all here. But as we've learned from previous videos, our biggest tool in the kitchen, aside from a sharp knife, is a silicone spatula. I mean, look at that. And the cool thing is I just washed this, so it's actually still edible. All of the ingredients are pre-portioned. I don't have to measure anything. There's less prep and less wasted food. Also, you can see there's minimal packaging in this order, but still the packaging that HelloFresh uses is almost entirely made from recyclable and or already recycled content. Interrupting once more. Am I killing the vibe? Sometimes I'll just follow the directions. Like, honestly, I'm not really even paying attention. I'm just doing what it says because my brain has too much going on. But I just threw in mayonnaise, sour cream, paprika, salt, and pepper, and then I have my own little chipotle type of sauce. That's so cool. Instead of buying actual condiments or like specialty situations, I can just use what I have. And now I learn how to make a sauce that, I don't know, when I have kids, maybe I can just whip things up because I learned it subconsciously and inadvertently because I was working with HelloFresh for so long. That's cool. Oh my God, me with kids. Okay, back to the video. Also, they're doing a fun little summer situation. They're launching summer-only limited time recipes to get people away from the oven. I'm still using an oven because tomorrow I'm gonna be burning in the hot desert sun. But there's a ton of barbecue chef curated meals specifically for the grill, like surf and turf options, sides and summery desserts, AKA everything you need to feel like a proper summer. If you're trying to get in on this, go to HelloFresh.com and use my code BATOON14 to get 14 free meals, including free shipping. Okay, write it down this time. HelloFresh.com, use my code BATOON14 to get 14 free meals, including free shipping. Ta-da! Honestly, this makes my kitchen look better. All right. Oh my God, I love potatoes. Okay, I'm gonna take my own advice and eat while not working, but I will leave you with one more embarrassing secret. I honestly don't know when I'm gonna finish this kitchen, but this board is covering up gaping holes, and so is this one. And that's just to show you that everything on the internet is not what it seems. We'll fix it someday, but that day is not today. Bye!